Hey y'all, we are back with another Dunce update. Here we go. Mayhem Classic is less than 2 weeks away. Taylor Self made this announcement over the weekend.
We're going to be at Mayhem Classic. Me and Bryson. If you have questions or things you want to know about each athlete, send it to the Shut Up and Scribble Instagram or my Instagram or Bryson's.
JR's going to be there too, right?
Yeah, JR is going to be there. We're going to be doing...
So if you have any questions you want Taylor to ask any of the athletes, be sure to reach out to him or Bryson on the Shut Up and Scribble Instagram account. I believe this will be the first time that Taylor Self and Danielle Brandon are seeing each other since all of that drama a few months back. But hey, we're all professionals here, although I would imagine there's going to be some awkward tension there. Now, it is no secret that the Sevan podcast channel has a heavy fan support for Colton Mertens, who is competing at the Mayhem Classic. After Colton's unfortunate placement last year at West Coast Classic, he has been on a mission, winning Kel Taylor several times, winning the NorCal Classic. He's really been dialing in on a lot of his weaknesses, and then his dominant performance in the CrossFit Open, even workout 25.3, taking second place. A lot of people would have counted him out for even making top 5 on that workout because of the rowing in there, but he proved everybody wrong. Now on the men's side, I'm looking most forward to the matchup between Colton Mertens, Austin Hatfield, Jason Hopper, James Sprague, and then also Roman Krennikov returning to the competition floor. I think that's going to be your top 5 as to who is going to win Mayhem Classic. We're just going to have to wait and see what the programming is. Rich Froning did post this to his Instagram page this morning, kind of like a little Dave Castro type hint as to what the programming might be. And on the female side, I think the top 5 race is going to be between Alexis Raptis, Haley Adams, Danielle Brandon, Emily Rolfe, and Abigail Doman. There was a recent roster change yet again. Hannah Black, athlete out of Texas, she competed on one of the CrossFit Invictus teams last year. She's also the athlete that hit that incredible 230-pound snatch at TFX Austin in January. We all know that Heavy Isabel is going to be programmed at this event, so I would look to her to be one to win that event. I'm also excited to see Christine Kohlenbrander coming back to the competition floor. She's always one of those athletes you never want to count out. Now, tickets still are on sale for the Mayhem Classic. If you are able to go and you are a follower of the Sevan Podcast YouTube channel, let me know if you're going to be there. We'll plan to do a little meetup somewhere where we can get a big group photo. Also on that Shut Up and Scribble episode, Taylor, Bryson, and JR break down the programming from the CrossFit Open. And then conveniently, JR had to dip out and they got into the World Fitness Project Challenger Qualifier programming.
Guy, if you're a WFP programmer, raise your fucking hand in the air and smack yourself in the fucking face with it, you idiot. It is hilarious that anyone had faith in this organization. How do you miss squatting?
Honestly, dude,
It's the first fucking foundational movement in CrossFit. There's no squat. You crusty, dusty, stupid dingbats. What the fuck, over? If you're an elite athlete, and you're like, ooh, WFP, I'm committing my season to the WFP. I trust these guys. And you've just put all your faith in the WFP for your competitive season, and they come out with a fucking qualifier with no squatting. You should just take a glass full of your own piss and shit and chug it. I'm fucking retired, and I've never even made the games, and I'm going to jizz all over your qualifier, you numbnuts. This event has just highlighted themselves as the dumbest, worst, shittiest, retardedest fucking programming you could ever do, and claiming you're going to be for the professional athletes.
Now, the WFP qualifier leaderboard will close on Tuesday. I did notice that some of the bigger name athletes are waiting to put their scores in. Right now, there's a little over 280 men registered for the Challenger division and about 180 females. Only 10 challengers from that division will qualify to compete with the pros at the first tour event in Indianapolis. Challengers 11 through 30 will qualify to compete in the Challenger division. I am curious to see out of those 11 to 30 athletes, how many will actually sign up and pay the money to go compete just to earn points. They did say they would backfill as well. So who knows? Maybe they'll fill it. The Counterculture podcast, who recently had Maggie Schur on, the first affiliate member for the World Fitness Project, Also did have the U.S. event director, Jason Ansley, on. Jason was an affiliate owner for about 8 years, he said, and then he got into the Legends Masters competition and working with Joe and Bob. He talks a little bit about that and all his involvement in the event space over the last several years. Now, the first 20 minutes of this interview, he's just kind of giving a background on himself. Talked a little bit about COVID and some of the problems that he faced there with First Form Monster Games. At its peak, I think he said in 2024, they had 800 athletes competing there. Jacob Hepner helps with the programming for that event as well. His head of athlete control is Maggie Scher. She is all up in the event space.
When I was searching for athlete control, like it was my job to find somebody. And I got it put in my ear that you need to talk to her.
He mentioned in there something that I thought was kind of random to say.
And I had one conversation with her. I didn't do a background check on Maggie. I talked to people that knew her. It was kind of like that with every head position.
What the hell did you just say?
And then he goes on to tell us how great everyone else is. Great people, great people. He also said that in November of this past year, that was the first time that WFP made contact with him. He says that there were some things that they were doing that he didn't agree with. And so at first he turned down the job.
And, there's things I disagreed with. And that's actually why we didn't connect when they first approached me about the job in November. One of the things I didn't necessarily agree with what they were doing wound up changing, and so it opened up the conversation for me to be back in the conversation.
But another thing that I just found extremely strange is when he accepted the position in December, he was at Desert City Classic and he reached out to Will Morad for the first time to have a conversation with him, and he says,
I called him after I'd accepted the position. And I said, hey, I'm Jason. I know you don't know who I am, but I know who you are. And
Will Morad is the head of sport, and he didn't have one conversation with the person that he was going to hire to run 2 of the 3 tour events for his professional league. You would think the head of sport, the programmer, and the event director are going to want to have some sort of in-depth conversations. It just really showcased how this was thrown all together. And then he says in that conversation,
he's like, honestly, Jason, he goes, I need a city and I need a venue as soon as possible because I have athletes that are waiting to sign and they won't sign until they have that down.
So as far as what he wasn't in agreement with they were doing, he said it had to do with locations. Originally, they wanted to have more events outside of the United States. Jason Ansley said, I don't think I'm your guy. At first, I thought, oh, maybe he knew they were asking for exclusivity and he didn't like that either. I asked the question in the chat. They circled back to that question. And again, he just stated it was purely because if they were only going to do 1 US event and not 2. For the reasons that you say in that first conversation, like Will put himself out there on the line. This is a new exciting opportunity. I just find it strange that you wouldn't take it for 1 tour event in the US, but you'll take it for 2. Maybe that's just a financial thing. Was that the only reason? And then WFP also announced over the weekend with this reel.
We are here to call the action.
We're here to call the action.
I'll see you in Indy.
Are you ready?
Oh, the comment section. I'm sure by now you've all seen James Sprague punishment reel dancing in the minion suit. Poor guy. I hear Justin Medeiros has to dye his hair pink. Sprague, Hopper, Pepper, and Medeiros were all on a live on their Boys Interrupted YouTube channel. If you haven't already subscribed to that, go do that.
And I just want to say, Jason hasn't done a sprint since the beginning. Dallin has been continuously picking up the sprints and chilling out.
James Sprague and Justin Medeiros were commentating while Dallin Pepper and Jason Hopper were doing the challenge at the same time. James Sprague beat them. He just had a better strategy. He got, I think, 20 more calories than Dallin Pepper.
Yeah. That was not the strategy.
What'd you get?
143. Not
You
good.
got it, Jason.
What Jason get?
150. Oh, dude, I trolled them. Give me
Dude,
that belt, boys.
If you haven't already seen that live show, you can go check that out on the Boys Interrupted YouTube channel. There is some speculation out there as to if Tia-Clair Toomey is going to compete at the CrossFit Games season this year. John Young on the Barbell Spin mentioned the other day that he believes that Tia is going to retire at the Torian Pro. I'm not really sure what to think about this one, honestly. She did put out a video of her 25.3 workout. She was at a gym here in Houston area, Vintage CrossFit, and they talked a little bit about the workout, and then Shane had mentioned
Not the outcome we know that she's capable of. This would be a good workout to retest as we get closer to, say, the Torian Pro. Let's move on from the Open, now the main event.
let's move on for the Open, now the main event. But he talks about Torian Pro. Potentially Torian Pro is it for Tia? I don't know. The fans want to know, Tia, are you doing the games or not? Please tell us. If you've watched any of the behind the scenes from Sevan and his team over the years, you know how incredible their coverage is. This YouTube channel has started putting out behind the scenes from the 2024 CrossFit Games. It is unclear when those will be released to the public, so if you want to sign up for the membership, you'll get access to them. There's a full day of check-in with a lot of the athletes, Dave Castro and Jenna Hawka, meeting with members of the media to discuss the decision to move forward and how that whole process went down with the athletes and the coaches. It's worth paying the membership, guys, I'm telling you. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. That is all for this dense update. Be sure to leave us a comment, like, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you're into that sort of thing, head over to my Instagram where you can follow me there for all the latest happenings in the CrossFit community.